All right, yes, the next one we are going to do is 7.7, not 7.6. So make sure you watch 7.7 before you watch 7.6. And 7.7 is called solving literal equations. Okay, so what that means is in this time we're not going to have numbers that we're necessarily solving for. We're going to have a bunch of variables, and we have to figure out what can I do to get that variable by itself. Okay, so just listen very carefully, watch it very closely, and if you didn't get it, scroll back, watch it again. That's okay, you guys. I just really want to make sure that you know how to do this because we're going to start entering pi into our vocabulary. We'll do that when we get there. Okay, so your directions will say solve for the indicated variable. Okay, here's our first problem we're going to do. It is A equals LW, or area equals the length times the width. And we want to solve for L. Okay, so that means we want to get this to say L equals. Okay, we want to get L on one side of that equal side by itself. So I've got L on this side. That means I need to get rid of the W. Right now they're multiplying, so that means I need to divide both sides by W. Okay, so what I would get is L equals, so we already accomplished that, A over W. Okay, this is how we're going to write divided by, you guys. I don't want to see A divided by W. Okay, we're kind of done writing it that way. Right now we write it more as a fraction, A over W, and we know that that means dividing. We're dividing A by W. Top divided by the bottom. Okay, so this would be my answer here. I know that it doesn't say L equals, but on this side we have L by itself, and that's what we're trying to get. We're trying to just get that L to be alone by itself on one side. Okay, so let's try another one here. Perimeter equals 2L plus 2W. And we want to solve for W. Okay, so, well, first I'm going to get that L off the same side as the W. I need to get rid of this. Okay, right now I'm adding that, and this is a positive 2L, so I can subtract 2L from both sides. So now I have P minus 2L equals 2W. Okay, did you catch that, you guys? All I'm doing is I'm just getting rid of the stuff so that I can get W by itself. So now I'm left with this pesky 2 here. How do I get rid of a 2? Right now they're multiplying, so that means I need to divide both sides by 2. Okay, I'm going to move up here so we can get it all in. Okay, so I've got W equals P minus 2L divided by 2. Did you see how I did that? If I'm going to divide the left side by 2, I need to make sure I'm dividing the whole thing by 2. See how my dividing sign goes the whole length, not just the 2L part. Okay, I'm dividing the whole thing by 2. So this is my answer right here. Okay, so all I'm trying to do is get W by itself. I'm isolating that variable. We talked about that in 7.5. I need to isolate the variable, get it by itself, and then I can, later I can plug in the variables that I have. So this one's solving for perimeter. Our last one was solving for area. So as long as we're following the rules that we've already learned and we're doing inverse operations or opposite operations, we can do and we can manipulate these equations any way that we need to. All right, let's try number 3. Number 3 says distance equals rate times time. Okay, we've used these equations before, you guys. So now we're just saying, oh, well, I can just move them around the way that I want them to. Okay, so let's say I only know time and distance. Well, then I'd need to solve for rate. So I can just figure out, as long as I know distance equals rate times time, I can always figure out what the answer would be because I know that original equation. Okay, and for this one, I want to solve for r. Okay, so I would need to divide both sides by t. Okay, so I would get r equals d over t. Okay, notice how whenever I divide by something, it always goes on the bottom. I'm just putting that line there, making sure that I'm dividing by that t. Number 4. All right, number 4 says C, or circumference. We're talking circles here now, you guys. Circumference equals 5/9. Ooh, I skipped ahead, sorry. Circumference equals 2 pi r. 2 pi r. So when we're talking circumference, we're saying what's the area or what's the distance. It's kind of like perimeter for circles. How far around is my circle? Okay, so radius, that's what the R stands for. Radius is from the center of the circle to the edge. And then pi is just, it's 3.14159. That's all I've got memorized, but it goes on forever, you guys. That's what's so special about pi, is it goes on forever. Okay, so that's the beginning of pi, but we just need to know usually it's 3.14. Okay, and we need to solve this for r. Radius. Okay, this is our radius. Remember, if it's a diameter, we go from one side through the middle to the other side, and radius is from the middle to the out. So there's lots of radiuses. Radius, 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 radius. Diameters, we can go clear across to the other side. Okay, anyways, there's a little geometry lesson there for you. Okay, so I have to get rid of this 2 pi that I'm left with on here. And you know what's nice about it is they're all multiplying together. So that means I just need to divide by 2 pi, and I would get r equals circumference, remember that length around the whole outside of the circle, over 2 pi, divided by 2 pi. Okay, boom. That was pretty darn easy. All we had to do was divide by 2 pi. I could have divided by pi and then divided by 2, but since they're all multiplying, I might as well get rid of both of them in one swoop. I don't need to wait to do them and add more steps to my problem. All right, remember, this is radius. And diameter is the whole way across. And circumference is the length around the outside of the circle. Circumference. Might have added one too many E's there. Oh well. All right, let's try number 5. All right, now we get to do the tricky one. Where this is talking temperature now. We're talking Celsius. Okay, that's not the temp we use. Equals 5/9 times the quantity of Fahrenheit minus 32. And of course, they want us to solve for F. Okay, so here's the deal. Whenever you see something like this, you automatically think, okay, first I have to distribute that 5/9. But now, honestly, it's not true. Okay, because I can just divide both sides by 5/9, divide by 5/9, and then get rid of those parentheses. Okay, so now I have C divided by 5/9. Okay, and this isn't a very pretty way to write that. So how we're going to do it is we're going to flip 9/5 times C. Okay, so we can just make it 9/5 C equals F minus 32. Okay, I could just probably go back to white. Now I need to add 32 to both sides. Okay, so I'm left with 9/5 C plus 32 equals F. Okay, so as long as you guys check yourselves and make sure you don't distribute that, because then you're going to create a load more of work for yourself. So don't distribute a number when we're trying to do something like this. If it was anything else, I would always say distribute first. Distribute first. But when we're trying to solve for F, then we would just have to divide. I mean, it would just add a whole lot more work. We can just divide by that 5/9 and get rid of it. Okay, let's try. Looks like we've got about one more. Okay, so number 6 that we've got here says A equals H over N. Oh god, that looks like an H, sorry. H over N, and it kind of, even on my notebook, looks a little iffy. Okay, we got H over N, and we want to solve for H. I wish they would have said for N. Okay, so we just got to get rid of N, so we're going to multiply by N. Multiply by N. A times N would be AN equals H. Okay, when we're multiplying variables, we just write them right next to each other. If we're adding them, then we need to be a little bit more careful and put that addition sign in the middle. But really, as long as we do our inverse operation, and remember inverse just means opposite, and operation is adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. As long as we do the opposite operation to get rid of whatever we need to get rid of, we're good. Okay, that's all that I have for 7.7. Remember, the next video you'll watch after this is 7.6. We're kind of going out of order there for a little bit. And then we are going to skip, you'll notice we are going to skip 7.8 and review, test, and then we're good to go. So thank you for watching this video. Make sure you come in and ask if you have any questions. Don't write help on your paper. Make sure you come in and ask me if you need help. Thanks for watching.